Oh, come on. Come on, you piece of junk. Come on, start, not again. Oh, let's see if the radio still works. Yeah, well, yeah, there's, oh, that show Motor Mouse is on.
Good morning. This is Matt. Used to be Matt's Brake and Alignment, but retired a few years ago. This is the Motor Mouth Show. Jeff Spevack, my partner at the show for 20-some years, is off today. Dale Price is supposed to be here this morning. He hasn't showed up yet, but I think maybe what would have happened is I haven't told him that since last time he was on, we have changed the building. We are across the street from United Parcel. And so we are in Suite
3620 Sacramento Drive.
Yeah, but in Suite 204.
Suite 204. Yeah, but we're
so Dale, if you listen to the radio,
across town. Here he comes down the hall right now. He's just running a little bit late.
Okay, here he comes.
Down.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't tell you were here. Have you been here before?
I've been here.
Oh yeah,
we are on the air, Dale. Yeah. We are on the air. All right.
So anyway, now we got that ordered. Now, so this is a call-in show. That means that you call us, we can't call you, and we talk about cars. And we're going to talk about, well, I would like to bring it up to begin with here, electric or plug-in cars. Because I think that that is a way that the economy is going to go as far as vehicles are concerned. Now, the manufacturers, they are now saying they don't want to build small cars anymore. They want to build the SUVs because that is what they are selling.
Oh, absolutely. And pickup trucks.
Yeah, and pickup trucks.
Pickup trucks are back.
So, but, I don't think that's going to go very long, except they came out now with a truck that is a plug-in electric. And the name of it is Workhorse. And it was brought up, I think, at General Motors to begin with, under that name, and used on chassis for motorhomes. So a lot of the motorhomes had what they call the Workhorse chassis underneath them. And then evidently they got out of the motorhome business and sold the chassis to somebody else. And they have then changed it to, for example, the rear end is no longer solid axle, it's independent rear suspension. It's a half-ton truck. And they also are making vans. And they're selling them to municipalities.
I mean, PG&E, telephone companies.
Yeah, and like San Francisco had bought, I think, about a couple of hundred of them.
Oh, good.
And their vans, they got a battery in them that will last 80 hours. And if you have any electric tools, you can plug it into that battery.
Do they transfer that 80 hours into miles or?
Well, see, that depends on how fast you drive.
Right, or how hilly the area is.
But anyway, a half-ton truck. And the engine is over 400 cubic inches. So it probably has a big V8 engine in it. I don't know what that is.
So it's a hybrid.
It's a hybrid.
It can go electric or gas.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
I gotcha.
So, in that kind of a car, I had at least a Ford hybrid for 3 years now. And I was getting 100 miles to the gallon. By other words, I was getting more miles on electric than I was getting on gasoline. Yes. And I was driving that car twice a week down to Santa Maria, going down to Allen Hancock. And, the thing is with it that the small four-cylinder engines on those cars are fantastic. I mean, there's no lack of power.
They're getting better and better.
Yeah, they are.
I remember when I was in college, I was looking up electric cars, and it was like, those won't work. Can't do it.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking back about the 1960s. We used to get like 35 miles a gallon on my Ford Falcon.
Yeah.
6-cylinder.
Yeah.
And then they said, we're going to go ahead and put a PCV valve on. PCV valve. And they said, oh, no, that's going to ruin everything. And that was way back the beginning of smog. And they keep saying they can't do it. But when people want to buy something, suddenly they can. It's amazing.
Oh yeah. Well, all the manufacturers now in automobile, I don't know. Mazda, I was looking into an ad this morning on Mazda, and they didn't say anything about having an electric car or electric plug-in car.
Right.
Now, and you take some of the pure electric cars, they get a couple hundred miles on the battery.
Right. Chevy Volt
Yeah.
is one.
And but the code that again, that depends on how fast you drive. The faster you drive, the less battery time
Right.
do you have.
Right. Jackrabbit starts. That's probably not a good thing to do.
But it drive from me to town to 3 hours, 3 miles. And so I'd go to town and do shopping in town. I can go on 2 or 3 stops, 4 stops, shops going,
Right.
and back home again and do that on the battery charge. Didn't cost me any gas at all.
The motor never kicks in.
Oh,
Cool.
except if if you punch it, if you're gonna really have a rabbit start, then it kicks in and helps you to get both battery and
Right.
and the engine and the car then takes you off, put you back in the seat.
Gotcha.
So we're about 10 minutes into the show. Let's give out the phone number.
Oh, they haven't done that. Oh my
Goodness.
See, forget about that. Talk so much and forget about it. 543-8830. You call us. Do you have any questions about this vehicle? I got some more information. And but anyway, if you have a electric car, plug-in car or electric car, or have had one, and you've had some experiences with it, good or bad, but you give us a call. 543-8830. And this is Dale is back at the air. And Dale, what have you done lately? What are you doing lately? You are on the shop that much.
I'm still around the shop, American Muffler and Trailer Hitch, and we're doing some hybrid with people are blowing us away because they want to put trailer hitches on the back, and it's like, how big of a trailer are you going to be pulling with this thing? Oh no, I want to put bicycle racks back there.
I see.
I want to put a carrier. There's not too much room in the. I want to go on a picnic.
Yeah, right.
So we put a carrier on the back. So we've been doing quite a bit of those, and not hooking up the towing lights just yet. But they can pull small trailers. There's a couple of customers that actually have hybrids that are pulling teardrop trailers, the little small camping trailers, getting back to where they used to take off with their parents, the baby boomers.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
These are the 40s and 50, 45-year-old. They want to relive their youth with their kids.
Yeah, sure.
But they also want to be good for the environment with their green car.
Well, if you have a small boat, for example, tin boat, then it shouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, no, we're really surprised on how many hitches on small cars, And then again,
any problems putting those on with the battery pack?
No, the newer cars are amazing because they will have spots on the cars where bolts screw into.
Oh, yeah.
Threaded holes.
Oh, threaded holes already.
I'm pretty sure that the threaded holes are what they use to hold the car on the assembly line.
Oh, I see. All right.
But they are in very strong places on the car, so they can tip them and turn them and whatnot.
Right.
So that's where the hitch will go there. And occasionally you have to drill another hole, put a safety plate on the backside, put a bolt all the way through to the hitch. Mm-hmm. And that works out too. Nice. But I'm hanging around the shop. People still see me that I'm there. I'm still running my screen repairs and knife sharpening out of there. And that's working out really good. Turned into a full-time job again. Supposed to be a retirement thing.
Yeah, I know.
Guys, customers won't leave me alone, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
So,
yes. So that's one of the things. I think that us or the mechanics or people that are working with their hands, they don't quite retire. They want to have something to keep on doing something.
I totally agree.
And if you had a shop or you had a business and you had the pleasure of having customer come by and talking with you and so forth, then that communication with these people, you sort of miss that.
Right.
Now we got Jim from Rio Grande on the telephone. Hello, Jim.
Hi. I've been listening to your show on and off for years. Love it. Listen, my son and his friend, who are both IT guys in the computer industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the one guy he leased 2 of those Volts, those Chevy Volts.
Yeah.
And his wife drove one, and he drove one. And my son and him would take it 43 miles every day from San Jose to where they worked.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the first problem they had was the trying to charge the vehicle at night. They only were using 110, so we had to go. Well, one time I went up there, we put a charging station in GE or something.
Right.
Because it took too long to charge the car. It had to charge it overnight to go that 40-some miles, right? So now it's charging, at 220. So they had that car for 3 years because it was 36,000 miles or 3 years or something.
Yeah.
So his wife, they had to switch cars because they were running out of mileage on the 1 Volt.
Oh.
But the way it worked, there was no advantage electrically because it got real good mileage anyhow. So a gallon of gas would get you 40-some miles, and 1 charge would get you 40-some miles. But to charge the battery was the same amount of money it cost to buy a gallon of gasoline. So it was a push. Now, my son, it was always charged at my son's house. But I imagine if he put solar panels on, he would be charging it at Tier 1 and not Tier 3 type of thing.
Right.
And I think then you would cut it in. You would cut the thing in half.
The cost.
At least going one way,
Yeah. Well, of course, at work, if you had a 220 at work, it would charge the car there as you were working.
Right.
On my car, at least one for 3 years, a Ford. And I bought a 220 and I put it down at Allen Hancock School. And I plugged it in down there when I was teaching. And then the battery was charged. It would charge.
So they were paying. They were paying for the electricity.
Yeah.
Now, where my son parked the car, there was, 3 or 4 stations to charge.
Yeah.
But typically, what happened, you'd go to work, someone would leave the car there and plug it in, and then nobody else could use the thing because you couldn't. The cord wasn't long enough to reach. So they left their car there all day, and it was rude of them to do.
Right,
they should have moved it sometime and let somebody else get in there. But now they gave up on the 2 cars. They ran out of their thing, and they did away with the Volt.
Yeah, well, that's interesting.
But it didn't work out at all. But he needed solar panels to get the tiers down, to maybe work. But these guys kept detailed records of all this stuff, so
they knew for
that's
sure.
all they had to do is you parked in traffic going to work,
Right. Hey, that's very good, Jim.
Very good. Well, thank you. I thought I'd listen.
Oh, no, that's very good. Good information.
Keep the show going.
Thank you. Appreciate it very much.
Right.
The thing, I got the Ford C-Max, and that worked fine. It would charge, with 220, would charge in 2 hours.
That's cool.
Yeah. And I would get 20 miles, about 15 to 20 miles on the battery charge. My other words, I go from here to Roy Grande, and then it kicks into the engine on that car. Now, he had a Volt, and of course he has a much longer mileage on that car, but it's not I don't think that the Volt was a plug-in.
Yeah, Volt.
But it must have been,
the Volt is all electric.
It's all electric, yeah. All right, so it doesn't have an engine.
Correct.
Mine had an engine.
Yeah. A 2-hour charge, that's not bad. That's about enough time for a nice mid-afternoon nap, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Heck, yes.
Okay.
No, that's good. But I have had little problems with it. Some of the electronics on that car quit working at 25,000 miles.
Uh-oh.
And the thing is that evidently a number of other vehicles of the same make and model have had the same problem, so the part become on back order.
Oh,
so
sure.
I haven't had the use of my car now for about a month.
Right.
And so and the lease is up. So a couple of months, the lease is up. So I went out and I bought a Toyota Plus car. And that car is nice. It's better. In handling, the Ford it has electric steer. That's the difference. There's a big difference in the feel of a car that has electric steer and a car with hydraulic power steering, of course.
Electric power steering?
Electric power steering,
right.
Rack and pinion.
Uh-huh.
It's too sensitive. And on a Ford, it was too sensitive. It was very difficult to make that car at high speed you had to drive it all the time. It wouldn't track very well.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So, but the Toyota, I drove that back from Sacramento, and after I bought it up there.
Right.
And nice on the road. And also had one of those speed controls. It set the car on speed control, 70 miles an hour. When somebody turns in front of you, the car automatically slows down.
Oh, that's right.
That's a radar on the front.
Yeah, you're telling me that. That's great. That keeps you awake.
Yeah. So the telephone number is 543-8830. We have now talked for 22 minutes. Not quite. Minus 5.
Oh, we need it.
So I think we need to go for a break.
We need a break.
And the engineer has all figured out and so forth, so we'll do that. Telephone number again, call us, 543-8830.
All right, guys.
And we'll talk cars.
I got a classic commercial here for Esso gasoline. You were singing,
oh, sure.
You were singing it earlier.
Yeah.
So going back, I guess, probably to the 50s with this one.
Oh, yeah.
Extra, something extra. Posies for the girlfriend? Yes, sir. And an extra blossomer to wear in his buttonhole. Everyone likes that little something extra. A dozen rolls, and the baker tosses in an extra one to make it a baker's dozen. The butcher throws in an extra bone for the bow wow. Every locality has a different name for it. Way down east in New England, they call it something to boot. In the deep south, they call it lanyard. At your neighborhood service station, they call it Esso. The new Esso gives you premium performance, unexcelled at regular price. And the new Esso Extra is unexcelled at any price. Extra quick starts, extra power, extra anti-knock. You can take your choice. These two great gasolines are both extra value for the money.
For service that is tops and gas that's extra fine, there's a smile for every mile at the Esso sign. E-S-S-O makes your car go. Happy motoring.
When it's time to service your car,
Or a warning light is starting to glow.
go see the pros at Absolute Auto.
At the corner of Sacramento and Capitolio.
Having a problem with the brakes or the steering down below?
Or an alignment to adjust the tow.
Computer systems, they do know.
Call 543-8737 to reach Absolute Auto.
Here's some inside information to get your gas mileage back. Inside your engine, carbon builds up, clogging the injectors and combustion area. If you want your fuel system cleaned in just one tank of fuel, use what the inside car guys use most. It's called BG44K. In fact, service managers use it almost 3-to-1 over any other fuel system cleaner. To find a shop with BG products, go to bgfindashop.com. That's bgfindashop.com.
BG.
Hi, this is Jeff Spevack, Motormouth co-host and owner of Continental Motorworks. What can you expect here at Continental? We will treat you and your car with care and respect and gratitude. We will bend over backwards to earn your trust. You will fully understand what we are doing on your car and know how much it will cost before we do the work. You will always get value, a fair exchange. You work hard for your money. We believe we should work smarter and harder for what you pay us for. Now in our 36th year, we fix it all. Cars, trucks, SUVs, and hybrids.
Call Jeff at Continental Motorworks at 541-1464. Mention this ad and receive 10% off labor.
Hey, little Cobra, don't you know you're gonna shut them down? I took my Cobra down the track, hitched to the back of my Cadillac. Everyone was there just
I did a nice song with the old dime, with the old hot rods. Now they got the new hot rods. And I was going to ask you, Dale, about the new hot rods. What do they do to the exhaust to make them sound so rough or so bad or so good for some people?
Well, all cars, when they're made, they don't know where they're going. The manufacturer sells it, so they make them quiet. And then on the other hand of that, there are mainly right now, it's the baby boomers that have got the older cars. And so there is a whole industry out there of making mufflers. You take off the quiet one, you can put on one that's tuned for sound that you're looking for. The thing that happens on our shop a lot of times is people come in with a little Honda that doesn't make any noise, and they want it to be just like their buddy's car. And we'll say, well, what's he driving? He goes, oh, well, he's got a Ford F-150.
Yeah.
And then without taking too much time, you just have to explain that you can't do the same thing with the small four-cylinder motor. So, which we call rice rockets. So we can put exhaust on there that changes the tone, and that's what everybody's after. They can't do much in the engine compartment like you could in the old days.
No.
So they go for the tone of the exhaust.
Well, the Canyon, you have the Mustangs and the Camaros and the Chargers.
Right.
And they are noisy.
Oh, yeah.
They fixed the exhaust on them.
Right.
Yeah. And I was wondering how big a deal it was to change them up. This is cars that are less than 5 years old.
Right. Like I say, they have a main muffler, then they'll have resonators.
Oh.
So sometimes you can take the resonator out, and the resonator takes a certain frequency sound wave out of the exhaust, but once it's gone, that comes back in. So you'll hear that noise. And a lot of guys, what they'll end up doing is going on Google, YouTube, find out what somebody else has done. The manufacturers of these different exhaust pieces, they do extensive, cutting everything off, because you can. It's what's called a gray area. You can do things to the exhaust behind the catalytic converter, as long as the engine is still producing as clean an air out the exhaust as it can. That's what their concern is.
Okay, now of course some of the mufflers have some flow resistance in them. By other words, the exhaust comes out slower.
Correct.
So then, if you take and reduce the flow of exhaust, don't you reduce then change the smog system on the car?
System.
Yeah.
That's where the computer comes in. The computer will override that.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
So they still pass the smog test, even though they've been performance-wise.
I see.
Now, some states actually have sound tests, kind of like the old days when we used to park behind Foster Freeze and everybody back into the fence, and what's called power parking. The local police would come by, and actually they don't really do it anymore, but they would pick up somebody's car and as one of the racy guys around town, and they'd come over and say, Fred, could you go ahead and start that motor up? And you just terror would, you'd break out in a cold sweat. So you'd just barely tap the gas and get it started, and blum, 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 blum. Go ahead and rev it up for us. And they would ticket you right there.
Oh, yeah?
So, and then you couldn't drive. You get in trouble with your parents, whatnot.
Yeah.
So what we would do is take a big wad, of SOS pad.
Yeah.
Push it down the exhaust, and then drill a hole in the exhaust. Put a nail in there. So when you start the car, the exhaust has to go through the big wad of SOS pad.
Yeah.
And very quiet. So as soon as you leave the police station, you just pull the nail out, give it a rev, and poosh, goes out the back, and you got your car. Because they just wanted it to be quiet, and it was.
Yeah.
I remember doing stuff like that.
I never heard about that one before.
Yeah.
Okay, telephone number is 543-8830. You got a story about cars, call us up. This is interesting. This is what the show is all about.
Oh, absolutely.
You call us and tell us what you think about it.
Yeah, we had a customer come in one day, another little story. He said, my car is making a whistling noise.
Yeah.
And that's very unusual. So we said, well, we kind of heard you when you came around the corner. on Broad Street and high. And it was kind of whistling. So we go around the back and he goes, I don't remember this thing here being there all the time. And what somebody had done is they're commercially available, at least way back when, a whistle that clips onto the exhaust coming out the back of the car.
Yes.
And when you drive, it just, makes this ear-piercing, weird whistle noise.
Yeah.
So we got a pair of pliers and pulled the thing out, and he goes, where'd it come from? I said, do you have grandkids? Well, yeah. So that's where that came from. We gave it back to him on his way.
I can remember as a kid, you used to take a potato and stick it on the exhaust pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the pressure in the exhaust system would build up and it would shoot the potato out.
Oh, absolutely. I never did that, though. Never did that.
Well, it's bad on the muffler. If you didn't have a good muffler, you would take a blow muffler.
Yeah, blow the muffler out.
Might be kind of bad on the car behind you, too.
Yeah.
Well,
could be.
Got the mashed potato on it.
Yeah.
Well, this was uncooked potato, not a cooked potato.
Well, that's kind of like a bomb coming at the car behind you.
Exactly. Big bullet.
Big bullet.
Can't do that on electric cars.
Yeah.
No, but sometimes you would like to make some noise with those. Can you buy an electric exhaust?
I don't know. You could hook that into your stereo system, I suppose.
Right. Yeah, because it'd be nice if that you could sit there and electrically make exhaust noise.
Sure, I'm sure that could be done with the speakers so small that they have now. That was a main concern when American Muffler was. When I first started running it in 1988, the big push was going to be, you guys are in trouble because they're coming out with electric mufflers, sound canceling.
Oh, yeah.
Like the Bose sound canceling headphones. And you're not going to have mufflers anymore. It's just going to be these, like a can with two speakers in it, and you can dial the noise in.
Yeah.
Well, they're not out there yet, and that was 30 years ago. So.
Well, we got Jack from Royal Grandy on the line. Hello, Jack.
Hey, hello, you guys. Hey, I was just listening to some of the nostalgia stuff you did with the exhaust and stuff like that, and I just remembered when I was young and dumb, and
you mean just a few years ago?
Yeah, just a couple of years ago, and the same thing with that nail bit, to muffle it down, with the metal in there. But another trick that we did with the exhaust pipe is we'd take and drill a hole big enough to screw a spark plug into it.
Oh, yeah.
And then we connect it to a wire with a toggle switch up front and give it power. And we could set it a red light, downtown, set a red light and hit that gas pedal and hit that switch at the same time, and it'd throw a flame out the back about 2 or 3 foot.
Yep.
That we thought was pretty funny. But you could sure, if another car was up close to you in that lineup, you just liable to scorch their paint off,
Absolutely.
But I had that same bit with the exhaust and getting a ticket, and I put the mesh up in there to quiet it down, and I had as a matter of fact, I had it was a set of Smitty's on the thing, what was a Smitty muffler back then, which was pretty loud. And I got a ticket with it, and then I did, as you were talking about, with the mesh and the nail. And so I got it passed. It went good.
Yeah.
And then I was behind a friend's gas station that time, and about 20, maybe 30 foot across the street, there was a building there, but just a blank wall. And so I took those nails out, boy, and I hit that gas pedal, and it took it put about 4 nice big black spots on the side of that building, So then I had my noise back again on my Smitty mufflers.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, but if you're not real busy right now, I was listening to you guys talk about the electrical cars.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I'm more interested in what happened to the hydrogen cars.
The hydrogen cars? Well, the problem with that is that you have to have a special gas station for it.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
Then I take it the water that you would use would have to be put in under pressure or some way like that.
You have to have the bottles of the hydrogen in your car.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing as natural gas, more or less. There were 2 countries that did something, or maybe more than 2 countries, but Iceland put in filling stations, so you could fill it with that. And Norway had one road, long distance main thoroughfare, that had stations that would fill with nitrogen. So those two countries had that.
Hydrogen.
You know, I think
hydrogen.
I heard a commercial just not too long ago that it was either from a Tascadero or Paso Robles, but one of the foreign cars did have a hydrogen car here now, and it was either the Kia or whatever it is, those or Hyundais or Ikea or whatever they're called. One of those was actually talking about having one there.
I haven't
that
heard
was
anything.
Just recently I heard that.
I'll be darned. Haven't heard that.
I haven't heard that either.
Yeah, I haven't heard it since. So I was wondering if that's really what they were talking about was really true, because they said they had them.
Yeah.
But I like I was saying, can you just, I was just thinking you could pull up and take a water hose and fill up and go on your way.
Fill it up with water? Well, I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Not the way I envisioned it either. I mean, that would be sure an economical way to go.
Yeah, it sure would.
Yeah. Hey, that's all I had to say.
Okay.
Because the program is, I love nostalgia programs.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
Have a nice day. Yeah, the thing is that the electric, what is coming is, of course, the electric car, I think, with the cars that have the combination of engine and electric. Over the plug-in, I think, is the one that. Here we go. We got something from our engineer here.
Yeah. It might be called the Hyundai Nexo.
Normal looking hydrogen.
Let's see if I can bring the picture up so it looks. If it's it actually kind of looks like a normal.
This looks like
everyday car from today.
Yeah.
It looks like a small SUV.
Yeah. It looks like a Toyota almost.
With gull-wing doors. No. Is that?
Okay.
Maybe not it. That may be another car there. Let's see if we can bring up another picture. It just looks like a small SUV. But it might be called a Hyundai Nexo.
N-E-X-O.
Yeah.
So you can look that up.
Get that on the computer. It's amazing what computers do.
Yeah. So what I was going to say about the electric cars are, if you have an electric plug-in car and you tell the PG&E, for example, you live around here and you have PG&E, you tell them that you have it, and they will take in and give you a lower rate. You can set the clock for charging time in the car, and you can charge the car at night when the cost of electricity is much lower.
Right, there you go.
Yeah. And, of course, if you put in a solar thing, you can have that and 220, and the solar would charge your car up, and you wouldn't go on the net to do it.
Right. Well, then you'd have to charge it during the day.
Yeah, then you have to charge it. Yeah, right.
There's ways around that.
Yeah, there's ways around it. But I was talking earlier about this workhorse truck. If you're interested, I'm going to give you it's a stock company. And it has the letters of WKHS. You look it up. Go on the computer and look up the stock WKHS. And I bought some of it just because I like electric cars. I think there's a big future in that. And I think you talk about some of the manufacturers, for example, Ford, are spending billions on electric car.
Putting electrics together.
Yeah.
Right. The thing that they said that never could be done.
Right. So things are changing.
Yes.
And, the thing is that, for example, the fully electric in Norway, they have, of course, very inexpensive electricity because it's all hydro. It's no steam. I mean, it's it's hydroelectric.
Hydroelectric generators.
Right. Waterfall generators.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that becomes much less expensive electricity. Electricity. And there, if you buy an electric car, you get some less taxes on it because of that. You get there's a lot of toll roads in Norway. You don't have to pay any toll. You go on a ferry. You don't have to pay any ferry.
Oh.
Tunnels. Sometimes you have tunnels. You have to drive through. There's a toll on a tunnel. You don't have to pay that either.
I'll be darned.
So, some of the more expensive electric cars, Norwegians bought a lot of those just because of the cost, less cost of
less
operating.
Less cost to run them. Gotcha.
Here you get $6,000 back if you buy or lease one. You get to take it off your taxes.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah. Some of it is state and some is federal. Most of it is federal.
Right.
So it's interesting. And the thing is, I don't think that many people buy these cars. They lease them.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I think so. You can afford them. Okay. So car payment and lease payment, $350 a month.
Right.
For 3 years. And the car is totally warranted for 3 years. So anything goes wrong with the car.
Yeah, you can just park it down there at the dealership for a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the dealership's fault, it's but that too many cars had the same problem and they have a back order on parts.
Oh.
Just to give you a little bit of an idea too, the average price of gasoline right now that I have up here on for Norway.
Oh yeah,
$9.28 a gallon. So there's a real incentive to not have a gasoline car.
Really? So
that's in Oslo.
Yeah, right. Okay, now Oslo is outlawing diesel engines in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Oh, because the pollution.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. When we were there, it wasn't winter, but they sure have a lot of railroad tracks everywhere and trolley tracks.
Oh yeah,
electric overhead
wires. That's all electric. Railroad is all electric.
Yeah.
Every place.
Yeah, we didn't see too many private cars. A lot of bicycles. Really small cars, if you saw cars that were around.
Well, yeah.
It was mainly the train and the buses and the trolley cars.
Well, you can go any place on a train or a bus. The train company then will operate buses sometimes, and if you go into Europe, get used to using trains and buses. If you go to Europe, you buy what I call a Eurail pass. You pay for 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks,
right?
And then you ride on any rail in any of the countries in Europe.
You really
first class for nothing.
You really don't need a car.
No, you don't need a car.
The rail system is so good.
Yeah.
Right.
I wish they had some better rail system here.
Yeah. Well, we used to.
Yeah.
They tore them all up.
Yeah,
there were trolley cars. They were everywhere. Yeah. But then it's a whole different story if you look that stuff up. How the car manufacturers and the tire and the gas
Firestone and Goodyear. I mean, not to sling any mud, but I think they're kind of behind that. Firestone.
There was. Every town had rails, and that could have grown and grown, but that switched over to cars.
Yeah.
So. Well, anyway, we don't have any calls. The telephone number is 543-8830. But we'll spend a minute or two and do some commercials. We have to pay for the freight of the people that advertises on this program.
There we go. So going back to 1968 right now for Sinclair gasoline, the dinosaur.
Right.
Anyway, this is going to be a pretty good commercial, I think.
Sinclair, put that nickel in. Put that magic nickel in. Only Sinclair gasolines have nickel.
Nickel is the reason why more and more motorists are turning in at the sign of Sinclair. The exclusive nickel compound in Sinclair gasolines has been proved in tests to reduce engine wear as much as 29%. With liquid nickel, lost power is restored. You save on repairs and roll up more miles per dollar. Money-saving nickel, exclusively yours in Sinclair, Dino, and Dino Supreme gasolines. And now take advantage of this special offer, a powerful 6-transistor Sinclair radio at a very special price, only $3.98 at your Sinclair dealers. Take it with you everywhere you go. Case, battery, earphone, and it's only $3.98 while they last, where you see this sign at your Sinclair dealer.
When it's time to service your car,
or a warning light is starting to glow,
go see the pros at Absolute Auto.
At the corner of Sacramento and Capitolio.
Having a problem with the brakes or the steering down below?
Or an alignment to adjust the tow?
Computer systems, they do know.
Call 543-8737 to reach Absolute Auto.
Hi, this is Jeff Spevack, Motormouth co-host and owner of Continental Motorworks. What can you expect here at Continental? We will treat you and your car with care and respect and gratitude. We will bend over backwards to earn your trust. You will fully understand what we are doing on your car and know how much it will cost before we do the work. You will always get value, a fair exchange. You work hard for your money. We believe we should work smarter and harder for what you pay us for. Now in our 36th year, we fix it all. Cars, trucks, SUVs, and hybrids.
Call Jeff at Continental Motorworks at 541-1464. Mention this ad and receive 10% off labor.
Your car's fuel economy was never better than when it was new. But time and miles have robbed your car of its MPG and performance. Service managers recommend BG44K to remove carbon and restore mileage in just one tank of fuel. In fact, dealerships nationwide use BG44K almost 3-to-1 over any other product. To find a shop with BG products, go to bgfindashop.com.
BG. Can you imagine selling your car next week and saying to the buyer, hey, don't worry, because the engine is covered against failure for life. It's called the Lifetime Protection Plan for the Engine from BG Products. Now imagine having this huge benefit free with your next oil service when you remember these two letters, BG. BGMOA is available at over 20,000 shops nationwide. Find yours at bgfindashop.com. That's bgfindashop.com.
BG. She's real fine, my 409. She's real fine, my 409, my 409. Well, I saved my pennies and I saved my dimes.
We were talking about the Sinclair. We were just talking about this off the air, actually, the Sinclair and the nickel and all that stuff.
Yep.
How you used to drive into Los Angeles and see the air, and now you can't anymore.
Yeah, no, somebody's done a great job.
Yeah, so maybe that nickel was good for the car, but maybe not. It's good
for the air. Yeah. The air used to be green, brown. You used to fly down through it.
Oh yeah.
When you fly to there, it'd be nice and clear upside, and then outside the windows, it was just I don't even want to say what it was, but yucky green, yucky green. So.
Well, all the voice that we have on this program this morning, is Dale Price. And it's nice to have him here on the show once in a while, talk about something else than what Jeff and I usually talk about. So anyway, we have a few more minutes left on this show. The telephone number is 543-8830. Give us a call if you have something to add or if you have a question. If you have a question about some repairs or something wrong with your car or something like that, maybe we can answer that question, maybe we can't. But anyway.
I have a question.
Yes.
On your new car, does it have what I believe it's called regenerative braking?
Yes, absolutely.
So when you are off the gas pedal or the electric pedal,
it charges the battery.
It charges the batteries from the motor, charges the battery back up.
Yeah.
So if you're coming down the grade,
you put it in a different gear, more or less. You can push it on the button. And then it hangs on the battery or hangs on the electric production.
Right.
Yeah.
So and
on the dash on the car, it shows you how much electricity you're actually getting from doing that.
Okay. So as you drive down the grade, you get more.
Yeah, absolutely.
More juice in your car.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. And there's some cars that actually the battery is charged by the engine.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think that was the first attempt.
Yeah.
That they were doing.
But as I said, the thing is that we've had it now in cars for quite a few years. Now here we have the trucks and the vans.
Right.
Half-ton electric plug-in.
Right.
Yeah.
And you said something about they have an inverter. in them, so if you're a construction guy, you don't need to run a generator.
No.
If you're off-site.
If you run a generator, you could probably charge both the battery on the car and whatever tools you're running.
That's true.
You're running a battery, you're running a generator anyway.
It's probably not the most fuel efficient.
No, it isn't. And that's smoggy. You know, those engines aren't smogged.
Right, no converters on those. No, for sure.
They probably will be coming, but, they say that the lawnmower is the worst of them all.
Right.
So, but anyway, as I said, also, if you want to look into that truck more, KWHS. No, beg your pardon. WKHS.
Workhorse.
And kind of interesting. But telephone number again, 543-8830. Not because we are running out of something to talk about, but, it's nice if you call us.
Well, most of the people call us after we get off the air. I think that's what it is.
Well, we know that in this program, we're looking for somebody to call us first thing in the morning. So Jeff usually has a special one for the people that calls early.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and that helps. That's fine. But anyway, I hope the program is sort of interesting for those that listen to it. And the Absolute Autotech.
Yeah, good guys.
They had just hired one of my former alignment mechanics.
Oh, good.
Yeah. 10 years since I went out of business.
Amazing.
At that time, it's going back so fast. Oh, terrible. But anyway, here is an alignment expert. I would call him an alignment expert. He's probably the person in town that knows more about wheel alignment than anybody else.
That's great.
Because he was a good guy working for me. He worked on all the vehicles, alignments on all the vehicles, both the big trucks, big vans, motorhomes, and cars, smaller cars. And, of course, Jason right now, he has the tools and the equipment to do that. I don't know if there's any alignment shops. Well, there are people in San Luis Obispo that does alignments. But a really alignment shop, I don't think there is any except what Jason has,
right,
or Absolute Auto has.
Speaking of alignment, how does alignment affect fuel mileage on a regular car? Let's say a guy's got a car for 10, 12, 15 years, it's never been aligned, he's put new tires on it. If he has an alignment problem, is he wasting gas?
Of course, but the thing is that he also wastes tires more.
Right.
Yeah. So the thing is that if your tires are wearing out fast, now, of course, if you have these low-profile tires, or if you have the low rolling resistance tires, like on these electric cars that have special tires on them that has less rolling resistance than regular tires, they will wear out a little bit faster. But, I mean, if you get, today on these cars, if you get about 35,000 miles on a set of tires, that's good.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I've noticed on my Ford that these tires are running higher pressure than normal, 35, 36 pounds, because of the extra weight in the vehicle. But hit a pothole, and it would puncture the tire. It would, something wrong with the sidewall. Michelin tires, but I lost 2 tires that way on that car.
I'll be darned. On the electric car.
On the electric car.
I'll be darned. Yeah, they have the big problem with that back east because there's a lot of potholes.
Oh yeah, well we got our share.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the meantime, back at the ranch. That's what I used to say earlier.
Well, we talk every once in a while too. It's getting towards the time of the year too where it's going to start getting warmer. And every once in a while, I'll go to the Nevada or Arizona, and I actually go when it's this time of the year where it's getting warmer. And you see people out there because they haven't maintained their tires.
Yeah.
And that's when there seems to be more blowouts and stuff. And it happens quite a bit, actually, on Highway 58 and Highway Interstate 40 and stuff where they're out there. It's mostly cars. They've lost something wrong with their tires, and you have to wonder if the guys not paid attention to the tires because the pavement's hot, the heat's hot, and that's when you have more problems with blowouts.
And we hear a lot of stories for wheel bearings on trailers because we do a lot of repairs on, or hear a lot of stories about
losing
people
a wheel,
losing a bearing on a hot freeway, and they didn't make it to their camping spot and whatnot. So that's a plug to get your campers and your boat trailers into American Muffler and Trailer Hitch. Get them taken care of before you take them on the road. If they've been sitting for a year.
Not only that, but some of these trailers, you dip the wheels in the water,
right?
And so then if some water gets in, and then at the fall you don't use it, it sits there all winter long full of water.
Yep, and it pits the bearings. It'll go out maybe the first 2 times. But,
right, exactly.
The stories are amazing. They always tell us where they were. What mile marker? You know where the turnoff to Istanbul? Right there. No. It was the other trip. It was, what's wrong with your trailer?
Yeah, and the towns are few and far between out there, between here and the Arizona border.
Exactly. Oh, yes.
Just past Daggett or Barstow, it's like, good luck with that. So you're going to have a nice little towing charge too.
I haven't talked about this before, but I used to put nitrogen, or do put nitrogen in my tires. Now the idea with nitrogen is that a tire will lose. Even your owner's manual will tell you that you're going to lose 1 pound a month of the tire pressure.
Right.
If you don't check it. If you put nitrogen in there, it doesn't have any oxygen in it, and the oxygen is what goes through the sidewall.
Gotcha.
And the air pressure will stay the same. So if you buy tires, put that in.
That's a good tip.
Yeah. Well, we got a couple of minutes left, and I think we're going to have to take some time off here to talk about the people that are actually paying the freight on this tire.
That's right.
By all the words, our advertisers. Continental Motor Works on Laura Lane.
Yeah.
That's Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
And he works on everything now, he says. Vans, trucks, small cars, electric cars. And he does things a little bit different. And he has customers. He has a good customer list, and that's a good. Absolute Auto Tech. If you need a wheel alignment, a real good alignment, that's the place to take it. Capitolio, and they are located in Capitolio and Sacramento. Then we got JB44K additives.
No, BG44.
Oh, BG. Yeah. So then you look up in on your computer. Yeah, that's what you look up. BJ44K.
BG. G.
G. Yeah. Okay.
BG44K.
Okay. B and the J. See, the J is a Norwegian G.
Okay. There we go. That's what the excuse is. All right. BG44K.
And then, of course, you have the Slow Bike Org. If you want to take and get some help in bicycling, they will train you and how to bicycle in traffic, and they will show you what to go and where to go and everything else.
And how to run through a stop sign on a bicycle.
Oh, my.
And if you want to listen to the radio at 8 o'clock in the morning, do that on this radio station. Have a nice day. Stay dry.